Hello, good evening. Today I wanted to talk with you regarding the ethnicity and the religion. In the sense, if we see the Indian culture, Indian tradition, we find that Sri Krishna was born as a Kshatriya around 7,000 years ago. Anyway, let it be at least, even if the calculation is that not up to 7,000, let us say even in 4,000 BC or 3,000 BC. And when we say the Parasurama was here 12,000 years ago, his mother was a Kshatriya and his father was a Brahmin, it shows that at least let it be 10,000 years ago. It shows that the Kshatriya, Brahmin, Vaishya, Shudra, all cultic castes might have been there. If we tell about Abraham, the father of Jews, the Christians, and even the Muslims, he was around 1000, 2000 BC, around 2000 BC, that is around 4000 years ago. But he was not a Jew. The Jewish community was not there. Jewish system came only after the law came. People say once Jacob's son Judah was born, Judaism, that is Jewish group, started. Once Jacob's children, Israel, was born, the Jewish community started. No, Jewish community and religion both are different. The religion started only when Moses gave the Torah, because Moses married from a different community. So after the Torah came, it became a must to marry only for the Jewish community. So some say it is because of the circumcision which Abraham did. No, it's not so. Before the circumcision of Abraham, the circumcision was practiced by a lot of people. So this is since the Torah came, that religion came. But Abraham was very close to God. The God liked the people in spite of the religion. That we should understand. And Krishna was born as a Kshatriya. And I don't think that was a religion. That was a group of people who were rulers. Kamsa was the ruler. And that was by profession, the people who merged with the profession, joined together, but not looking down on anybody. That's why Krishna was brought up in a Yadava house. Yadava was not an untouchable. He was not a backward caste. So there was no casteism at that time. So when we see the origin of Hinduism, we can see through the DNA itself of the DNA Kshatriyas, DNA of the Kshatriyas of South India, DNA of the Brahmins of South India, DNA of the Vaisyas of South India. We will find that the W steppe, that is based on the region. Steppe is a place or grassland where up to 250 centimeter of rain is there, 150 to 250 centimeter per year. That is just as in dry land, we can say. But it is climate should be good, or to be good. So European, Caucasian, and similar type of bacteria. So that type of people who were farmers or hunters together joined and contributed to the steppe population. But what happened? There is another thing called Western steppe. So during the Indus Valley period, that is around 5,000 years ago, So Indus Valley civilization. At that time, the people started migrating towards South India. So it was Iranian population which was having a predominance in Indus, not the present Iran, then Iran population, Afghan population. They came through Afghanistan, Pakistan, then to India, Punjab area, Indus area. And from that Indus plain, they started spreading as a dominant group even up to South India. So they are they became the dominant, and they became those who are good warriors became the Kshatriyas, and those who are good pious people were the Brahmins, and those who did business were Vaishyas, and the South Indian aboriginal people, original people, Dravidians, and tribals, they were here very much. So they had these people who came had even a small portion of African blood too, maybe from Adam. We don't know. And these genes, when they comes together, they showed more clear character. So they tried to marry only their own people. Of course, they started believing their own God, probably idols. Because whenever they move, they need something to pray, no? Some idols. If you see, when Jacob's wife came, Jacob's wife came out from her father's land, she carried an idol, which is her father's property. And Jacob allowed that idol to be continued. But even that Jacob was blessed by the God. So at that time, the idol was not a bad thing. But in 2000 BC, some other thing happened. There was a sudden influx of people from Russia. So the Western, that is proved by the ancestry of the Western type of this is steppe, Western steppe. Actually, that is different. It contributes to steppe. But if you see the land, the present war is going on, and Kazakhstan of Russia and all, from that side, already there had been migration through Eurasian to the Indus long back itself. But now what happened, lot of influx came, reached. Of course, by religion, they were different from the Krishna, followers of Krishna here. So they had only Vayudeva, that is wind god, water god, god of river, water, god of Agni, that is fire. Like that. So what happened, this Agni was used for the sacrifice. You know that even Abraham kept the sacrificial animal and prayed to God. And the God appeared in the form of Agni and had taken fire and had taken the sacrificial things. So that is seen in the Bible also. That means that is everywhere. That is a part of the belief. And moreover, these people, just like Abraham's people, had only one God. Rigveda says, the wise calls the God in many names, but there is only one God. So they merged with this group in North India and Central India with the so-called Hindus. So Hindus was not a religion, it was a group of people having a similar color and all. And maybe by profession also. They merged, they intermingled. So that's why W steppe is more in North Indians, but not in the same Kshatriya group. North Indian Rajputs and North Indian Brahmins and all, but not in the Brahmins of South India, or not in the Kshatriyas of South India, not in the Vaisyas of South India, but more in Vaisya, because of the Vaisyas of North India, because of additional W steppe, Western steppe from that side, Russian side. So we call that W steppe, the people with W steppe who came here, as IndoAryans. So, of course, the Indo-Aryan property is already there in the other people also, but to a very less extent, because the people from European farmers and all, as I told, Caucasian, these people had already Bactrian or bacteria, all had this same steppe, but to a very lesser amount. Means all it is a mixture, no? In the Indus Valley itself it had come. So what happened? The South Indian and North Indian got a difference by the percentage of ASI. If the ASI percentage is above, yeah, we can say around 40, we can say is surely a South Indian. And about if the steppe percentage is about 40, we say is North Indian because of. But there are a lot of people who are South Indian Kshatriyas who will be having more of Indus Valley civilization, more than 46, more than 45. Indus Valley DNA, Indus type, which is a mixture of all these except Western steppe. And of course, they will be having lesser ASI, South Indian. That is maybe around 30%, 28%. That all varies. So the Brahmin will be having more, bit more, 1 or 2% more than that of the Kshatriyas in the Indus Valley group, percentage group. While, and the steppe also, it will be a bit more. While the Dravidians will be having more of ASI. And like that. South, it proves that South Indian, they are pure South Indians. But it is based on the region. And finally, what happened? The people of W steppe started praying to the God which is already here. And their gods also merged in this stream. So all the gods together became a religion. Then the people who had another different type of idols were tribals, were grouped as these Hindus by the British people when they reached here in 19th century. And they told that, later on they told that they should be allowed the temple entry. And temple entry was finally given by the Indians after a tough time due to some situations stating that such and such temple is only for us, so that we can only intermarry. So between our people, not between, because the idols which we carry should have that much faith, we should have that much faith only in that idols we carry. So that again, it became a very broader look. So the race of Hindus who were staying at Indus and this side had become a religion. That is because it doesn't mean that it started here. It started at the time of Lord Krishna at least, or at the time of Parashurama, long back. So that's why that people from that area, the Kshatriyas and all, who migrated before these IndoAryans came, and they started ruling the South India, especially when we see the extreme south Kerala. We can see that their W steppe, Western steppe, will be very less. And hence the total steppe will be lesser, even though the steppe is very prominent. The Indus Valley percentage is still higher for them. Mhm. So, likewise, simultaneously at the same time, at Moses' period, when the religion became the group that is strictly following the Torah, that race became the religion, and that religion uh, made the people as conservatives, orthodox, Pharisees. Pharisees means the people who believe that there is people after the death, we can have life in heaven. Angels will be coming to take them to heaven. And there is Sadducees who are not believing that. And like that, a lot of divisions came. And people started concentrating according to the religion. But now, the people started concentrating according to the love they have. That is naturally the features they develop from the Aryan or Dravidian or whatever it is, European or whatever it is. So the religion, people going for religious worship started declining. It is just as going back to the Abraham's era, because there are still a lot of people who are very good, who are following the voice of the God, voice of truth, voice of love. That is the religion. Okay.